Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Uipath MVP series. Today we have young blood in the house, and he's none other than Marcelo. Marcelo is currently working as an RPA developer for an investment bank. Before I introduce him more, I would like him to give his own introduction. Marcelo, go ahead and welcome to the show.
Thank you for your invitation and hello to everyone. So, yeah, I'm Marcelo and I'm 23 years old. I'm from Portugal and I'm currently working as an RP developer on investments bank. And so I can give you a small introduction. All everything about RP started on my life. So it was basically almost 4 years ago. In the last school year, one of my teachers gave an introduction about RPA with Uipath, and it got so my attention. And then in the end of the school, we have internship of 5 months, and I decided that I wanted to have internship on RPA company, so a company that delivers RPA solutions, and it was that. So I was on a company that it's well known in Portugal, and I learned a lot during this time with people that were already on the market, that were had a good amount of experience, and I did also at the same time the Uipath certification of RP Advanced Developer, and it was a really good experience. And then I moved to another company for about 2 years where I was RP consultant. So I managed the assessment, the development, the deployment, and the monitoring of the process that I developed. And then now I'm almost 2 years on this bank. And I started as a RPA sport technical analyst. So I was on operations, more on operations side, monitoring all of our projects. There are really many projects, more than 160, if I'm not wrong. And also I played a role on the project evolutions, bug fixes, and also manage and improve an internal monitoring tool that we use to manage all of our processes, of our RPA processes, all in Uipath. And now currently I'm more on the, so I'm more now on the development side, and yeah, it's currently what I'm doing.
Wow, that's like a lengthy introduction, Marcelo. And thank you for letting us know. So, one thing I loved about it is that one of your professors shared about UiPath and that piqued your interest. Well, I
Yeah.
hope that many more students get exposed to the world of UiPath and even they get the similar success as you. So, team, while we are taking this interview, do not forget to subscribe Marcelo's YouTube channel. He is actually doing great videos on RPA, specifically, UiPath, and not only the topics of SAP, but he's also talking the integration of Studio with other tools. So I would definitely recommend going at least once and checking the video. Sure. So Marcelo, I what I love about this is that UiPath MVP campaign has an entire screening process. And we have learned that, there is like a technical interview, and then they try to understand what's your technical expertise. There are a couple of discussion, and then it's an extensive process of 2 to 3 months, including the results. So, is there any recommendation that you would like to give to bring a change in the process or, add an extra layer of screening? How does that look for you?
I think the process is really decent. It's really well made. I remember that first where we applied to the Uipath MVP. Then someone contacts us to a technical interview, as you said, and it is there's some questions about experience, what you have done, also for the community. And so it's a really simple talk. And then later, some people are chosen to another interview where we have a meeting with the product team, so where we share some ideas and vision about a specific product. And I think it was really makes sense the how it's done, and at least I don't know if maybe it will change over time. But one thing that I missed was just one thing. It's maybe a bit of transparency about why I was chosen Uipath MVP. I know that was um, because of the contribution to the community, but I think what will be really interesting to be hear more transparency about why someone was chosen Uipath MVP. I think it will be great for everyone because the community could see that there are really different ways to become MVP. So I missed that thing. I was expecting that, but from what I remember, I there was no specific information about why I chosen a MVP, and I think that could be happened. I think it would be really useful.
Oh, wow, that's a new pointer that we have come across. So, yeah, definitely. I think using the video, let's highlight that. Let's make the results or why someone is chosen as UiPath MVP a little bit transparent. Because technically, that was my next question. That what did you do differently that you were chosen as UiPath MVP? Because I know you have been making amazing videos that is helping the community grow. But is there anything else? Do you attend Portugal seminars, or I would say the meetups that are usually organized?
So yeah, just for instance, we will have a local chapter meeting here on Portugal, where I and another two colleagues from my company, the company where I work, we will present a event about what's RPA, what's process automation, and also we will introduce some demonstrations. And yeah, that's one way, no doubt. So to be a speaker on Uipath community events, and it could be, for example, the local chapter initiatives, and also I think to become a Uipath MVP, one thing that helped me really a lot was to make YouTube tutorials. So I started 2 years ago, I think. Yeah, 2 years ago, and I did always consistently. So I had all the thing of launching every week two tutorials, and sometimes it's hard because there is a lack of ideas, but if we try we will start to see some things that could be done. And yeah, I think that's another thing that people can do, so share their knowledge. And it's not even needed to be on YouTube, it could be on a blog post or on LinkedIn. There are really many ways to share the knowledge, not just by tutorials, video tutorials. And yeah, I think another thing that could help to become a Uipath MVP is to maybe organize webinars, uh, like um, not really needed to be integrated in the Uipath community, but also some webinars maybe that you could organize with your company. I did, I think, two, if I remember well. And yeah, be active on the forum. I mean, I think it could help. I admit I'm not very active on the forum. I could be more on the Whitepad forum. And yeah, I think these were the main things that made me to be identified as Whitepad MVP.
No, no, that's absolutely a massive contribution, specifically the tutorials that you have built. One thing that I love about your tutorials, of course, I've not seen all of them, but couple of them I have seen, and it is the clarity of what you are explaining. So I feel that that is what makes your tutorials unique because, of course, there are so many UiPath MVP tutorials, or in general, people are making tutorials, but making them so clean and to the point is probably what is distinguishing you from the crowd.
Thanks a lot.
So yeah, and I was just thinking that to have the UiPath MVP tag, does it bring a lot of difference with your career opportunities or the network of people that you connect? Apart from becoming the MVP, what is it? What are the opportunities or the positive light, or I would rather say a difference that you have faced after becoming the MVP?
Yeah, so becoming MVP, it's really great because, in my opinion, it could bring networking opportunities that maybe will not so easy to do without being MVP. So we can get closer to Uipath and the product team. So, for example, I don't know, but was launched the Uipath Studio Web. It's still on preview, but before being launched, so on the to everyone, and I think it's not still to everyone, but some people of community already have the chance to apply, I think. But before everything, before that, we were informed on a private group on Uipath forum, and we had the opportunity to be the first to try the tool, give a feedback with the team, and I think it's really great. It's big like an insider, so you have the chance to maybe help more on the product development of Uipath, and also I think it gives a really great social media coverage, being a Uipath MVP. So just for instance, I remember some time ago, Uipath community account on LinkedIn did a post where it was mentioning me and another guys that were Uipath MVP and was sharing our, if I remember well, our YouTube channel. So it gives out a good social media coverage. And yeah, there are another advantages. So I think it, in some way, I think it helps to become more valuable to the marketplace. I think being a Uipath MVP, and yeah, then we have the discount on the certification if you want to do it. So I got it for free, and it's another advantage of becoming MVP. And yeah, there are another things. Maybe I not remember well, but yeah, it's really worth to be a MVP, and it brings a lot of advantages.
No, I think the advantages that you listed have is anyways huge. So I'll just repeat it. One is that you get an excellent social media platform, and UiPath themselves actually published your video, and they shared your video on the UiPath page, and that got you a lot of attention. So that's like opening a network for you to share your video. So that's excellent. Second thing I could hear was that you got the UIARD certification for free. And the most important of all is that you were made to feel a part of the company by giving your opinions before the product was made public. Yes, and I think Studio Web is an interesting area that they are coming up with. Even we are excited. What is your favorite tool with UiPath, and any tips and tricks that you think that, while you're using, let's say, UiPath Studio X, the best thing to do is that focus on design. So, which is your favorite tool, and any tricks that you would love to tell us about?
So my favorite tool, I think it's the Uipath Studio, the normal version. But I'm really with how I will say. I think Uipath Studio Web, the new member of Uipath tool, so the new Uipath tool that will, I think, maybe soon be launched as a stable version. I think it will play really major role on Uipath. I think it's really great to be able to create automations from Automation Cloud and don't have really the need to manage infrastructure. So it could be already provided by Uipath. And yeah, I think Uipath Studio Web will play really a major role. And I really like the tool. I played sometimes, and it's working really well. It makes me remember sometimes of Power Automate, the cloud version, but better, because on Power Automate, the cloud version, we can't have Y automation, but on Studio Web we can. And there is already, I know that Power Automate has more connectors, but it also it's on the market more time than Studio Web. So I think it's just a question of time, and Studio Web will catch Power Automate on this field of having many integrations with another services.
That seems interesting. And yes, right, I have heard about Studio Web in the meetup, and the excitement is definitely for real. Thank you for letting us know your views about the same. Thank you so much for your time today, Marcelo. But before I let you go, there is just one last thing I would love to ask you about your role at Udemy as an RPA instructor. Of course, as an instructor, you always need to be up with what's happening in the market. So, how do you keep yourself updated? What is it that you specially do? Or is there any, or are there any training sites that you would love to recommend?
So to be updated, so to still update about the latest trends, and um, more mainly on Uipath when there are major changes, and other tools that also I'm aware and have experience. I try to follow really consistently. For example, every week I go to the where it's shared the news. For example, on Uipath forum, when there is a new update or a new future, for example, they always post on Uipath forum, look here, a new future, it works like this, and it will be ready a certain on day X, for example. And yeah, I try to be active, let's say, look actively for these channels where I know that is published the updates. Also on YouTube, usually someone else shares when there is something new and how to use it. And also follow the official channels where, for example, Uipath shares the news. Yeah, every week at least I will look to that channels, let's say, and see if there is something new. And yeah, it's important to see for me every week, because Uipath changes consistently. I think it's really from all automation platforms, RPA tools on the market. I think the Uipath is the one that develops more faster, changes. And I remember 3 years from now, Uipath changed a lot to the better. It was
Oh, yes, I would, kind of agree to that because they actually listen to the feedback that are given not only by MVP but from the community and of course the clients that they would have. So I'm actually very excited about UiPath listening to all the feedbacks and bringing along the changes that are needed. Of course, it's fast for us as a developer or someone who's on the implementation side. But like you said, that UiPath definitely gives you the official documentation and they also launch technical videos around the same. Uh, That's great. That's great. I think too early to ask you, but then do you have any success mantra? Something that you would do irrespective of the task? Like for me, communication is definitely the key. I feel that if there is a transparent communication, each and every task can be accomplished successfully. So how about you? Any success mantra?
Yeah, I agree on that part of the communication. I think it's really plays a really important role. Um, Also, be really aware about what it's supposed to do, what we want to do. Really have a vision about the end result, how it will like in the end. It should be vivid for me at least. Um, Plan before doing, just because if we start to doing without planning, it will end a mess, baby. I already did sometimes before doing the courses and everything like that, the bit tutorials. I was not a guy of planning. I was doing, but I think it's really important to plan and divide the tasks. Let's say we have a big project to do and split it in small tasks. And talking more generally. So, for
Okay.
example, let's say we have a project, and I feel for me, it's really important to plan it. I don't say it perfectly, but at least plan it. Be aware what needs to be done first. Do a brainstorm, and then see what should be done first, and split it in small tasks, so it will be easy to accomplish and gain momentum. And yeah, I was talking more generally, not just for certification, but yeah, and have a deadline. It's really important for me, at least. Also, I feel when I have a deadline, I usually accomplish more. Um, and yeah, never give up, and review what we do. For example, the tool that I'm working, that is Uipath Watcher, internal monitoring tool that was developed by a person that was on Atixis but moved to Uipath. And I was the guy that took the development of so the improvement and maintenance of this tool, because I had already knowledge on web development. And yeah, I improve this tool every day, but sometimes I look for something that I did 1 year ago, and I just say, well, today I think this doesn't make any sense, and I change because I evolved, I improved it, and now I see things differently. And so it's really important to review also what we have done in the past and what we are doing, to make sure probably there is a better way to do.
Wow, those are actually excellent points. So planning is the key, 101%. There is no doubt around it. And something new that I learned is that if you have done your development, right, and that was some few years ago, or probably some moments ago, or probably some time ago, do not just leave it as it do not just leave it as it is. In fact, revisit the code and see that how you can improve it depending on the current situation, and how you can improve the performance. Excellent point,
Yeah.
Marcelo. I mean, this is something I would definitely make sure that we put it into the video. This part is definitely not getting edited.
Nice, nice.
Okay. Right. No, thank you so much for your time and making sure that the communication between us was definitely clear. And well, like I said, this is the young blood, guys, and I am so excited. Last but not least, let's not forget that he has excellent videos on YouTube. Make sure that after you watch this video, go ahead, check out the tutorials that he has launched. And like I said, it was always easy connecting with Marcelo. Technically, I do not feel he is in Spain. Well, thanks to technology and thanks to his positive attitude as well.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.